You asked for it. I think it's kind of important, you know, at least for me, when doing an album, that the first track you represent kind of sets the mood for the entire record. And when Josh had presented me the riff, I was just like, dude, this is so money. I'm like, I fucking love this song. And it just had such high energy that it became the introduction to the record. And the title, You Asked For It, is kind of like a little bit of fanfare. You know, I think that our fans were waiting for something really huge and exciting to happen with the new album and everything. So I think this record really says it all. It's like, you asked for it, you know, like we're fucking back. So it's a way of just kind of just stepping hard onto the scene again and kind of just flexing pretty much. So yeah. Shinjuku Master Lord. Well, the title, titles usually come after a song has been written. So when the song was written, basically, me and Josh bounced a riff back and forth together, and when I started doing the lyrics, I got like a really confident vibe from the track, and I just kind of wanted to kind of follow suit with how the introduction of the album is. So there's kind of more of that confident, like very like abrasive and really exciting vibe. Lyrically, musically. So I mean, Shinjuku Master Lord as a title kind of puts like a little crown on it, kind of being like, you know, if Shinjuku being the city of Tokyo, Master Lord meaning like, you know, Master Lord. So I'm basically flexing again, saying like, you know, like, yo, I'm back I'm back stronger than ever kind of thing, and you can't fuck with me. So that's kind of like the whole vibe of the song. And Shinjuku Master Lord, again, is like just a title of that kind of vibe. So yeah. Smokey, the song, is about like a person who lives off of habit and kind of like lives this very like repetitive lifestyle, and there's also metaphors for you know, for people being kind of like a dog, but the only reason I have any kind of reference to animals or a dog is because I got inspired by a story that was told in, I believe it's called The Evolution of a Cro-Mag by John Joseph, and he talks about a dog that he had lived with named Smokey, who was stuck on a chain, and its entire life was just spinning in this circle on a chain, and like just being this like really what's the word I'm looking for? Like neglected beast, pretty much. And so there's a lot of different things happening within the song. I'm telling a couple of different stories at once, so there's a lot of Emmure songs like that, but that song in general, the feel of it is about, you know, a person who is relatively like a dog on a chain, you know, just kind of living that same day over and over and over again. Natural Born Killer is kind of showing, it's kind of going into like the more of the theme of the record, more of an introspection. So this song is kind of me explaining how I have sadist tendencies, and I could be very schadenfreude at times, where like I enjoy watching the suffering of others. Not to say that that's who I am at my core, but that song is expressing that part of me that, you know, can be very vengeful and be very bitter and angry and want to hurt somebody. So Natural Born Killer, again, is one of those things where the title comes after I write a song. So I think that was the most fitting name for the song, and it's obviously a little, you know, tip of the hat to the film Natural Born Killer, which I love. So Flag of the Beast. Well, as far as what the song means, it's pretty much about myself and how I view myself and how I view people that have exited my life or have looked at me like I'm, you know, not on the right path, or I've chosen some kind of, how could I put this, not so flattering lifestyle or something like that. So I'm basically kind of feeding into that and saying, like, you know, I am the epitome of all that. I am the Antichrist. You know what I'm saying? There's no, I am the epitome of all things that are against the grain, pretty much. So that's like pretty much where the actual meat of the song comes from, like what the lyrics are and stuff like that. And then when it comes back to like the title, I was inspired by someone had said that about me on the internet, so I thought that was really clever. So I decided to just kind of take it and make it my own. Iceman Confessions got inspired by Richard Kuklinski, who's known as the Iceman Killer, who is, well, now dead, but at one point he had these HBO interviews he did where he explained his life and what it was like for him being a contract killer and stuff like that. And the song is inspired by a story he's told in, within those documentaries, but I also talk about myself and how I regret things in my own past and things I've said or done, which kind of mirrors almost identical to what Richard Kuklinski has said himself, where he talks about he has regrets, he has things in his life he can't take back, he can't change. So I'm talking about myself, and I'm using Richard Kuklinski as kind of like a pedestal to bounce myself off of. So like I get to mirror myself off of someone who I think is quite interesting, I could say. Russian Hotel Aftermath kind of deals with the breaking down of relationship that happened with Emmure in 2015 when everyone had quit. Everyone had pretty much quit in Russia. So the song talks about exactly what I was going through at the moment when all these tensions were running high, and things were just as ugly as possible, and I was just in a miserable place, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And so Russian Hotel Aftermath, it pretty much tells exactly what it is. It's like, Russian Hotel Aftermath, so yeah, that's it's a very much explaining a very particular point in time, Call Me Nanib, yeah. Nanib is the name of Call Me Nanib, the song is about another song where I kind of like talk about myself and how I view myself and how other people view me. And this song particularly, I also talk about how, someone in my position who has, success or is known for, whatever it is, music, art, whatever, how that is very fleeting, and how, 1 second you're seeing yourself as like, you're fucking awesome, and the next second you're old news. And I'm talking to myself, I'm also kind of pointing guns at other people, so to speak, saying like, I see behavior in other people who I consider my peers, who people tell me stuff like, oh, like this, I met this guy and he wasn't as cool as you, and it's like, I don't really get that, what I'm saying? I don't really understand that how anyone could be in the same position as me and not treat it the same. So I take a stab at myself and other people in that sense. But Nanib is the name of the Sumerian god of Saturn, and that's a whole other fucking thing that it would take me forever to explain to you guys, but yeah, so that song again is about myself and how I view myself and how I view other people that I consider my peers, or live within the same business or world that I'm in. Yeah. A Major Key Alert, that's another song, kind of follows suit with like the theme of the record, very introspective, and this song I kind of talk about how much I've changed as a person, and how I constantly deal with criticism from people who want me to like be the old me and stuff like that. And Major Key Alert, for anyone who's pop culture savvy, is a very well-known quote from DJ Khaled, who was kind of inspired that kind of mood where like like I've come so far, I've changed so much, and like that's a major key. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Major Key Alert is just that. It's a song that's very confident and very boastful, and definitely tells a story about me coming to terms with how much I've changed and being like, yo, I appreciate people who love the old stuff I've done, but that's not me right now, so deal with it, kind of thing. Turtle in a hair machine. Yeah, so that's a metaphor in itself about a person who maybe generally is very slow, but put them in a hair machine or a very fast car or anything of that nature, you get turtle in a hair machine. So I'm using the childhood fairy tale story about a turtle versus a hare, but I'm taking it and turning it into this other kind of picture where you see a turtle in a hair machine kind of thing, or a person who relatively moves at a slow pace but sitting in a car. And the song itself is about a particular relationship I have with someone who's like that. So if you were to read the lyrics and put them in context in a relationship with another person, then you kind of get the full story there. Torch. I wrote Torch pretty much as like shit was going really south with the old Emmure members, and it's about pretty much how much I struggled and what I had to do to continue on and keep carrying the torch, you know what I'm saying, of not only my dream but my passion. So the song is about that and just facing that entire situation with this with as much gusto as possible and not wanting to surrender to the circumstances I was stuck in. So yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of these songs are almost really self-explanatory once you hear them, but when I try to tell people what they mean, it's kind of like I don't know, it almost feels convoluted because it's like, it is what it is. Derelict is another falling right into the theme of the record. Look at yourself, where I'm very introspective and I take a long look at myself and I call myself a derelict and I explain how much of a fuck up I am and all these things that are just terrible about me. And music serves as my therapist, I guess. So it's like I'm using the track as a way to kind of circumvent those feelings. Gucci Prison. So Gucci Prison has a couple different things happening with it. For one, the title is inspired by Gucci Mane, who is just like, I think, such a funny character, such an interesting dude. And the song itself is about basically being stuck within yourself, like being comfortable in your own skin. So, when you listen to the track and you check out the lyrics, I'm basically just talking about how, yeah, like I might be all these things, but I'm comfortable with it. That's a Gucci prison. Imagine being stuck in a Gucci prison. You're stuck in this, what people consider hell, but from my perspective, it's not so bad.